Here we've created an area template. The cells have been grouped together using a custom name. You'll see when you look at the rows and columns, there's 3 columns and 3 rows, or 9 cells total. And that's how many words you'll see here. So each set of 3 words in quotation marks is a row. So that's the first row, second row, third row, and you can see each word corresponds to a cell in this layout here. So you can see the first 3 are now designated headers, and then we have an advert and then 2 contents, and then the last 3 are the footer cells. You can use a period to designate an empty cell in the grid, and that's what we'll do for this challenge. So instead of the word advert here, I'm just going to put a period, and that designates it as an empty cell. We saw how to define our template areas here in the last challenge. Now we'll learn how to place items in a specific spot in the grid area. So if we want to set item 5 to be in a specific spot, we'll use the grid area property. So grid area, and then we just put one of our custom names that we defined below. For instance, if we set this to header, and I refresh here, you'll see the number 5 has popped out of its normal location and fills up the entire header. It fills up the entire header because there are 3 items in the header, and there's only item 5 is set to header, so it fills up the whole header. For this challenge, however, we're going to put it in the footer. So I'll just change this name to footer, and then if we refresh again, you'll see that the item 5 takes up the entire footer. You can create grid areas without a template. You'll notice here that we no longer have our template code here, but I'm going to show you how to create a grid area. So same with before, we start with grid area. But instead of saying the template name, I'm going to put some numbers. I'll do 1/1/2/4. Now, these use the same type of numbers that we talked about before. If you look at this chart here, it's almost like setting coordinates on a graph. The first 2 numbers are the start coordinate, and the last 2 numbers are the end coordinate. So the first 2 numbers would be the horizontal line to start with and the vertical line to start with. So for 1, 1, it would start in this top corner here, and then you'll see that the second 2 numbers are 2, 4. So 2, 4 means it's going to end at the second horizontal line. Here's 2, and then here's 4. It's going to end at the fourth vertical line. So 1, 1, 2, 4 would start at this point and end at this point. So that would just take up the entire top row. So let's see what that looks like. I'll refresh, and we'll see that the 5 takes up the entire top row. Now we'll make some slight changes to this to solve the challenge. So the numbers we're going to use are 3, 1, 4, 4. So if you look on here, 3, 1 would be right here. 4, 4 would be right here. So now it should take up the bottom row. Let's refresh, and you'll see 5 takes up the bottom row.